Hi everyone, welcome to Coders Place YouTube channel. In this video we will see some important question of Angular and their answers. So let's get started. Question 1. What is Angular? Answer. Angular is one of the most popular JavaScript frameworks developed and maintained by Google. It is an open-source front-end web framework based on TypeScript. It is most suited for developing enterprise web applications because its code is reusable and maintainable. Question 2. What are some powerful features integrated into Angular? Answer. Angular integrates some powerful features like declarative templates, end-to-end tooling, dependency injection and various other best practices that smoothens the development path. Question 3. What is the main purpose of Angular? Answer. The main purpose of using Angular is to create fast, dynamic and scalable web applications. We can create these applications very easily with Angular using components and directives. Angular was started as a SPA, single-page application, framework, and now it supports dynamic content based on different users through dependency injection. It provides a platform for easy development of web-based applications and empowers the front-end developers in curating cross-platform applications. whiteboard is the most popular example that uses Angular. Question 4. What is the difference between an annotation and a decorator in Angular? Answer. In Angular, annotations are the only metadata set of the class using the reflect metadata library. They are used to create an annotation array. On the other hand, decorators are the design patterns used for separating decoration or modification of a class without actually altering the original source code. Question 5. What are the biggest advantages of using Angular? Answer. Following is the list of the biggest advantages of using the Angular framework. Angular supports two-way data binding. It follows MVC pattern architecture. It supports static templates and Angular template. It facilitates you to add a custom directive. It also supports RESTful services. Validations are supported in Angular. Angular provides client and server communication. It provides support for dependency injection. It provides powerful features like event handlers, animation, etc. Question 6. What are templates in Angular? Answer. In Angular, templates contain Angular-specific elements and attributes. These are written with HTML and combined with information coming from the model and controller, which are further rendered to provide the user's dynamic view. Question 7. Why was Angular introduced as a client-side framework? Answer. Before the introduction of Angular, web developers used vanilla.js and jQuery to develop dynamic websites. Later, when the websites became more complex with added features and functionality, it was hard for them to maintain the code. Along with this, there were no provisions of data handling facilities across the views by jQuery. The need for a client-side framework like Angular was obvious that can make life easier for the developers by handling separation of concerns and dividing code into smaller bits of information, components. Client-side frameworks like Angular facilitate developers to develop advanced web applications like single-page application. These applications can also be developed using vanilla.js, but the development process becomes slower by doing so. Question 8. What is OAT in Angular? Answer. In Angular, OAT stands for Ahead of Time Compiler. It is used to convert your Angular HTML and TypeScript code into efficient JavaScript code during the build phase before the browser downloads and runs that code. By compiling the application during the build process provides a faster rendering in the browser. Question 9. What is the reason for using the OAT compiler in Angular? Answer. An Angular application is made of several components and their HTML templates. Because of these Angular components and templates, the browsers are not able to understand them directly. So, Angular applications require a compilation process before they run in a browser. That's why OAT compilers are required. Question 10. What are the biggest advantages of OAT in Angular? Answer. Following are the advantages of using the OAT compiler in Angular. The rendering is faster. When we use the OAT compiler, the browser gets a precompiled version of the application to download. Here, the browser loads executable code to render the application immediately, without waiting to compile the app first. The Angular framework's download size is smaller. Oat facilitates you not to download the Angular compiler if the app is already compiled. The compiler is roughly half of Angular itself, so omitting it dramatically reduces the application payload. Fewer asynchronous requests. The compiler is used to inline external HTML templates and CSS style sheets within the application JavaScript, so it eliminates separate AJAX requests for those source files. Detect template errors earlier. While using the Oat compiler, developers can easily detect and report template binding errors during the build step before users can see them. Better security. Oat provides better security because it compiles HTML templates and components into JavaScript files before they are served to the client. Because there are no templates to read and no risky client-side HTML or JavaScript evaluation, so the chances for injection attacks are very rare. Question 11. What is JIT in Angular? Answer. In Angular, JIT stands for Just-in-Time Compiler. The JIT compiler provides a dynamic translation or runtime compilation, which provides a way of executing computer code that involves compilation during the execution of a program at runtime rather than before execution. Question 12. What is the main difference between JIT and Oat in Angular? Answer. Following are the main differences between JIT and Oat compiler in Angular. Just-in-time, JIT, compiler compiles our app in the browser at runtime while ahead of time. AOT, compiler is used to compile your app at build time on the server. The JIT compilation runs by default when you run the onbuild, build only, or serve, build and serve locally, CLI commands. This is used for development. On the other hand, we have to include the Oat option with the onbuild or serve command for Oat compilation. JIT and Oat are both two ways used to compile code in an Angular project. JIT compiler is used in development mode while Oat is used for production mode. JIT is easy to use. We can easily implement features and debug in JIT mode because here we have a map file while Oat does not. On the other hand, the biggest advantage of using Oat for production is that it reduces the bundle size for faster rendering. Question 13. What is the concept of scope hierarchy in Angular? Answer. Angular provides the $scope objects into a hierarchy that is typically used by views. This is called the scope hierarchy in Angular. It has a root scope that can further contain one or several scopes called child scopes. In a scope hierarchy, each view has its own $scope. Hence, the variables set by a view's view controller will remain hidden to other view controllers. Question 14. What are directives in Angular? Answer. A directive is a class in Angular that is declared with a @directive decorator. Every directive has its own behavior, and you can import them into various components of an application. Question 15. What is Angular CLI? Answer. Angular CLI is a short form for Angular Command Line Interface. It is a command line interface to scaffold and build Angular apps using Node.js style modules. To use Angular CLI, we have to install it by using the following npm command. Question 16. What is lazy loading in Angular? Answer. Lazy loading is one of the most powerful and useful concepts of Angular routing. It makes the web pages easy to download by downloading them in chunks instead of downloading everything in a big bundle. Lazy loading facilitates asynchronously loading the feature module for routing whenever required using the property load children. Question 17. What is Angular Router? Answer. Angular Router is a mechanism that facilitates users to navigate from one view to the next as users perform application tasks. It follows the concept model of browser's application navigation. Question 18. What do you understand by the router imports? Answer. The Angular router, representing a particular component view for a given URL, is not part of Angular core. It is available in a library named @angular/router, and we have to import the required router components. This process is called router imports. Question 19. What are the different router events used in Angular router? Answer. During each navigation, the router emits navigation events through the router.events property. It allows us to track the life cycle of the route. Following is the list of different router events in sequence. Navigation, start. Route, config, load, start. root, config, load, end, roots, recognized, guards, check, start, child, activation, start, activation, start, guards, check, end, resolve, start, resolve, end, activation, end, child, activation, end, navigation, end, navigation, cancel, navigation, error. Question 20. What do you understand by the router link active? Answer. The router link active is a directive used to toggle CSS classes for active router link bindings based on the current router state. i.e., the router will add CSS classes when this link is active and remove them when the link is inactive. Question 21. What do you understand by the router state? Answer. The router state is a tree of activated routes. Every node in this tree knows about the consumed URL segments, the extracted parameters, and the resolved data. We can access the current router state from anywhere in the application by using the router service and the router state property. Question 22. What is HTTP client, and what are the advantages of it? Answer. Most front-end applications use either XML HTTP request interface or the Fetch API to communicate with backend services over HTTP protocol. For the same purpose, Angular provides a simplified client HTTP API known as HTTP client. This is based on top of XML HTTP request interface. This HTTP client is available in the @angular/common/http package, which you can import in your root module as follows. Import HTTP client module from @angular/common/http. Following are some of the crucial advantages of HTTP client. HTTP client contains testability features. It provides typed request and response objects. It can intercept requests and responses. It supports observable APIs. HTTP client also supports streamlined error handling. Question 23. What is the best way to perform error handling in Angular? Answer. Error is when the request fails on the server or fails to reach the server due to network issues. In this condition, HTTP client returns an error object instead of a successful response. To resolve this issue, we must handle the component by passing the error object as a second callback to the subscribe method. Question 24. What do you understand by Angular bootstrapping? Answer. Angular bootstrapping is nothing but to allow developers to initialize or start the Angular application. Angular supports two types of bootstrapping: manual bootstrapping, automatic bootstrapping. Manual bootstrapping provides more control to developers and facilitates them regarding how and when they need to initialize the Angular app. It is useful when professionals wish to perform other tasks and operations before Angular compiles the page. Automatic bootstrapping, as the name specifies, automatic bootstrapping is started automatically to start the Angular app. The developers need to add the app directive to the application's root if they want Angular to bootstrap the application automatically. Angular loads the associated module once it finds the app directive and, further, compiles the DOM. Question 25. What is the digest cycle process in Angular? Answer. The digest cycle process in Angular is the process that is used to monitor the watch list to track changes in the watch variable value. There is a comparison between the present and the previous versions of the scope model values in each digest cycle. Question 26. What do you understand by services in Angular? Answer. In Angular, services are singleton objects that get instantiated only once during the lifetime of an application. An Angular service contains methods that are used to maintain the data throughout the life of an application. Angular services are used to organize as well as share business logic, models, or data and functions with various components of an Angular application. Angular services offer some functions that can be invoked from an Angular component, such as a controller or directive. Question 27. What is the key difference between a constructor and an init? Answer. Constructor is a default method in TypeScript classes that are normally used for the initialization purpose. On the other hand, the init is specifically an Angular method and is used to define Angular bindings. Even though constructors are getting called first, It is always preferred to move all of your Angular bindings to the on init method. Question 28. What do you understand by observable and observer in Angular? Answer. Observable. An observable is a unique object just like a promise that is used to manage async code. Observables are not part of the JavaScript language, so the developers have to rely on a popular observable library called RxJs. The observables are created using the new keyword observer. Any object that has to be notified when the state of another object changes is called an observer. An observer is an interface for push-based notifications delivered by an observable. Question 29. What do you understand by Angular Material? Answer. Angular Material is a UI component library that is used by professionals to develop consistent, attractive, and completely functional websites, web pages, and web applications. It follows the modern principles of web designing, such as graceful degradation and browser probability, and is capable of doing a lot of fascinating things in website and application development. Question 30. What is lazy loading in Angular? Why is it used? Answer. In Angular, the by default tendency of modules is eagerly loaded. It means that as soon as the app loads, all the modules are loaded, whether or not they are immediately necessary. That's why lazy loading is required. Lazy loading is mandatory for large apps with lots of routes. This design pattern makes the app load modules when they are only required. Lazy loading helps keep initial bundle sizes smaller, which in turn helps decrease load times. Question 31. What is the use of Angular filters? What are its distinct types? Answer. Filters are an essential part of Angular that helps in formatting the expression value to show it to the users. We can easily add filters to services, directives, templates, or controllers. We can also create personalized filters as per requirements. These filters allow us to organize the data in such a way that only the data that meets the respective criteria are displayed. Filters are placed after the pipe symbol, while used in expressions. A list of various types of filters used in Angular. Currency. It is used to convert numbers to the currency format. Filter. It is used to select a subset containing items from the given array. Date. It is used to convert a date into a necessary format. Lowercase. It is used to convert the given string into lowercase. Uppercase. It is used to convert the given string into uppercase. Order by. It is used to arrange an array by the given expression. JSON. It is used to format any object into a JSON string. Number. It is used to convert a numeric value into a string. Limit to. It is used to restrict the limit of a given string or array to a particular number of elements or strings. Question 32. Is it possible to make an Angular application to render on the server side? Answer. Yes, we can make an Angular application to render on the server side. Angular provides a technology Angular Universal that makes you able to render applications on the server side. Following are the benefits of using Angular Universal. Better user experience. It enables users to see the view of the application instantly. Better SEO. Angular Universal ensures that the content is available on every search engine, leading to better SEO. Load faster. Angular Universal ensures that the render page is available to the browser sooner to make the loading faster. Server-side application loads faster. 33. What is dependency injection in Angular? Dependency injection is an application design pattern that is implemented by Angular. It is used to form the core concepts of Angular. Dependencies are services in Angular which have some specific functionality. Various components and directives in an application can need these functionalities of the service. Angular provides a smooth mechanism by which these dependencies are injected into components and directives. Thanks for watching us. Like, share and subscribe for more.
खत्म।